Good afternoon. This is Spirit Journey. Today is Monday, June 22, 2020. I hope you all are having a good day. I'd like to do a video. As you see on the screen here, I'm going to show you a video that I just so happened to see just a moment ago. And it really ministered to me. It ministered to the signs of the time. And just today, I went out today and there were synchronicities that happened. I had to go pick up some supplies for my dogs. And I said to myself about, what is my life for? I want to make a positive mark in this world. And I was thinking, hey, wouldn't it be interesting about making soaps? Like I make soaps for myself. And I was thinking, maybe I can give out the soap that I make and hand it to the people who live on the street. And then just a couple of feet in front of me, to my left, there was an advertisement. These 3 posters. And each of the posters was from the same people, and they were toiletries designed for people who, people live on the street who want to take a shower. It's called the right to a shower, something like that. And I posted it up. I did a video of it, and it uploaded. I checked on my channel, YouTube channel. I see that it's up there. And I think it's entitled The Right to a Shower. And I show the advertisement, the products and everything. And I thought it was really interesting. And how because I was thinking about cotton. And cotton in America, to me, I'm not from the South, okay, but still symbolic. I was born in the North New York City. My background is not from the southern states, but actually in the Caribbean. I was born and raised here. My parents are born and raised here, but my grandparents are from the Caribbean. But still, in the collective of the African diaspora, I incorporate all that as a common experience amongst us. And so whether your ancestors' experience was in the Caribbean or Central South America or North America, to me it's all the same. And one of these scents for these products, toiletries for the people living on the street, it had a floral scent of cotton. And many of you may know that in the southern states of the United States of America, there was a very large cotton production. And it's almost like symbolic that was the cash crop. And so I thought it was really interesting that in that one they had as a scent cotton. The cotton, the flower portion of cotton. And I thought, wow, what a synchronicity. And as I was passing there, I had to go to a store I wanted to buy some candles. And guess what? I found this. Okay, I hope you can see it. Hope that the name, let me make sure the name. Okay, the name's right. Should be right there. See that? Cotton blossom. Okay? That's what the cotton looks like. Raw cotton. Okay, so this is symbolic to me about the hardships that happen in the African diaspora, the forced labor to produce this cotton, okay? But I bought this not because of advertisement, but it was before I saw that advertisement for the right to bathe. I was thinking about cotton. And lo and behold, I found this cotton, this candle with this scent. And just the synchronicity. And so when I look at this, it doesn't depress me about it, because see, it's actually a reminder of strength, endurance, integrity, personal integrity, longevity, all those positive qualities. So it's not to be a sign for weakness. See, hardships produce character and strength in the individual, and when you overcome, you take that strength along with you and you pass it on to your children, and they pass on to the children's children as a reminder of, hey, you endured and you shall overcome, and you are an overcomer, okay? So it's really poignant that they use this scent for the toiletry, and that soap actually it's a, what do you call it, carbon and cotton flower scent. So it's a black bar, and it has like a ribbon in the middle, some coloring in the middle. It's really interesting. So it's ironic that they had it like that, a black soap / black people, and then cotton. So whether they did it deliberately like that, I don't know. But either way, it's not a weakness. It's not a weakness. Use it for your empowerment. So why I'm doing this video now? See, everything ties in. Okay, I'm very proud of my ancestry, my Black Caribbean ancestry, and my being born and raised here. I'm a proud American, even though some people might say, oh, you're never American because you're a black person. But no, I take it because, see, our ancestors, whether your ancestors from the Caribbean, Central, South America, or actually brought directly here to North America, it's all the same. We're all on the same ships, but we just dropped off in different locations. But the experience is the same. I saw something. Let me put this down. Now, I was just watching a video, and it's reminding me again. Oops.
This is
okay. Wait, I'm going to show you that. But it's just reminding me again that you're still never really free under you're still being watched. And I think especially if you're coming from the Caribbean or that ancestry and you live in the United States of America, we have many of us have an air about us. We could be a little arrogant sometimes, I guess coming from a former British colony, or my background is the British colony and a French colony, and we can have an air about us, but it's just to how to say, but it's to encourage you, it's to remind yourself, hey, you're just as good as everybody else. But I came across this video, and the video is really telling, and so I'm going to play the video. It's by Channel 4 News, and I see that it was uploaded June 12th, 2020, so that's about 10 days ago. And it's just reminding me that even though as black people, black, whether you're coming from the Caribbean or wherever, Africa, that no matter what your excellence is, that people don't like us. And so I want to show it to you, and then I'm going to say how I feel, and how this all ties in about the heritage. You know, whether your ancestors picked cotton, or let's say they did sugar cane, like in my background is most likely sugar cane, okay, or bananas, coconut, whatever, right? Or tobacco in some places. That to use that heritage to carry you to the next level. So let me show you the video.
Story about one of Britain's bank managers, Dale Semper, a really successful bank manager. His mother Lynette has worked for the NHS for 20 years. His partner of 2 decades, Denise, works in human resources.
Yeah. He said he's too big to get kisses, you know.
And this is the story of how their happy, successful lives have been almost destroyed.
I'm accustomed to being pulled over and stopped when I'm driving cars and so on. I'm accustomed to it. I get it.
See when he's
Never
driving?
liked it, but I understood. Right? But this particular day when they've come out, it was so many police officers. And they said, we're here to arrest you for firearms. I'm like, firearms? I'm like, really? I said, no, you got the wrong person. I don't get this. I'm on my way to work. I'm a bank manager. I do not get this. And I'm arguing. I'm like trying to explain myself. I'm like, no, this can't be me.
It was the most traumatic experience ever. Being pulled over, and before you could blink, the handcuffs were on Dale, and he was pulled outside the car, and I was trying to understand what is going on. What did we do? Trying to get a sense from the cops and not understanding what's going on, and basically just being shouted at to stay in the car, be quiet. We're talking to him. Having this played out before somebody actually gave me some information. We're arresting him on firearm. I'm just like, okay, I can breathe now because I know what it is, and I know we don't have any firearms, so, you know, let's let this play out.
Police told Dale he was being arrested for possession of a firearm, and they had a warrant to search his home.
So at that time, I'm thinking, you have about 15, 20 people here. What is it that, what could I have actually done to have made something like this happen? Why are they here?
Around the same time, police were breaking into his mother's flat while she worked at the local hospital.
I worked for the NHS 20 years coming July. And to hear that guns going through my flat, are they crazy? And when I came home, I saw my door busted. So there's a padlock on my door. A lot of things were scattered on my house. All of my drawer with my panties, my bras, everything was pulled out, thrown on the floor. I wouldn't even wish that on my worst enemy.
Back at Dale's, the police's line of questioning, which he says he was later to learn underpinned the allegations against him, was how could he afford the things in his house? A nice car.
One of the comments the police officer even said when they came in, how did you get to have all these things? I'm like, have all of what? I don't understand. And he's like, it's clear, and one of the statements they've written, they said we're living above our means. I'm like, how can you know we're living above our means? You don't know what I do.
No firearm was found in his house, his partner's, or his mother's. And for the first, but certainly not the last time, the family thought that would be the end of it. But during the search, police found just under £2,000 in Dale's safe. Initially, the arrest was for firearms possession. Now, it was for money laundering.
How is it possible from firearm to money laundering? Something is not quite right. And from the onset, the undertone to this whole investigation was, look at us. We are black people. This is the reason why this is continuing, and there is no end to this. We both go to work, we both put in our 9 to 5, we make sure we do that. You know, we didn't come from much, but we're making sure that together we're on the same page, we're doing it for ourselves, and you know, we don't ask for anything, we're out there fighting for it.
Dale was suspended from his job at the bank. Police obtained a financial restraint order freezing all his assets. Dale, who owns a number of buy-to-let properties and with his partner shares a six-figure income, says he couldn't even get £1 out of the cash point. Terrified, the couple replaced their legal aid solicitor with a private lawyer for several weeks, focusing on justifying all of Dale's financial dealings.
The information he provided was, I have an explanation. I've explained my assets, my finances. He produced, within 24 hours, a file because they said his watch, his jewellery, his possessions were all tainted items. So under the Proceeds of Crime Act 2002, they made the assertion that everything was part of the proceeds of crime. They have used shoestring or false intelligence that there's a young black man with no previous convictions driving a brand new X6, enjoying life, and then the next day he's the enemy of the state, where his assets, his finances are paralysed, his mental health compromised, his whole life is literally being watched.
7 weeks after it was put in place, the financial restraint order against him was dropped, as there was no lawful grounds for it to remain in place. He was awarded £10,000 in costs by the Crown Prosecution Service. Once again, Dale assumed this meant the case against him would be dropped. Once again, he was wrong. After months of asking, the Met Police finally provided the original warrant and details of the information they used to get it.
He actually said that he said I was involved in sham marriage, money laundering. I'm thinking, what? I go by 4 different aliases, different names. I'm thinking, okay, what? I'm into drugs, and human trafficking, and the worst one was terrorism.
I just had to stop it for a moment. The more I listen to it, the more angry I get. Now you see how it's a long litany of alleged offenses, no proof, and if something like that were true, they would have evidence, but it's just hearsay. And I thought it was interesting in light of the Jeffrey Epstein, the man who died. He died almost a year ago for human trafficking and having sex with teenage girls. Yet he had accomplices, and yet they're not arrested. Okay, and there's evidence, and his place was investigated and evidence taken out. But how long it took to arrest him initially the first time, because he was arrested before, he did about 13 months and then rearrested about a year ago, and he dies in prison, in jail while he was awaiting a hearing. But he had accomplices, and none of them are arrested. And all the property that Jeffrey Epstein had, wouldn't that also be confiscated by the government for laundering? You're doing an activity, human smuggling, human trafficking, in the sex business, all this other stuff. All his property should have been confiscated back then in his first arrest. Because everything gotten by ill gain, right, supposed to take. And so here this man, the bank manager, here they froze his assets. And there's no proof. And he says that he worked for about 15 to 20 people. What it looks like, that him as a bank manager, someone squealed on him, not just the cops. The cops had to be signaled, notified. And most likely it's people where he works, or neighbors, and didn't like him being a black man and working hard. He has no police record, neither his partner, and they work together. So why do they do that? You have jealous people who are insecure with themselves and don't like that he can do well, but they may not be doing as well, the other people. And so it brings out their insecurity. How could a black man, a black couple, do better than me? But see, other people, you have other so-called minorities, people of color, those are euphemisms. It's not people of color, it's black people. And black people being targeted, even when they show excellence at what they do. When they do excellence, people are jealous and they want to hurt them. And they use all types of vocabulary to deprecate their character. It's a character assassination, what they did to this couple. And the whole, it says here for 26 months. That's a long time to be on an investigation. And again, they froze their assets. Yet you have white people, Caucasians, who are doing human trafficking, having sex with minors, all sorts of puke, and nothing happens. And this is happening in Britain. I assume it's Britain by the way they speak. I'm not familiar with the area where they talk. I assume that it's in Britain. And you have in Britain the Queen. The Queen's supposed to be the head of the monarchy. And the monarchy there supposed to be the head of the Anglican Church. And isn't that a Christian-based religion? So their Christian-based religion, the monarchy is head of it, yet they don't seem to be applying that Christian foundation and how they rule over their subjects. And so I think as a result of all the stresses that are happening now in the United States, again, this is June 22, 2020, and about a month ago, the man by the name of George Floyd, and you had other people, Aubrey, and a whole litany of other people, blacks in America, United States of America, who have been killed and they were unarmed. And so it's again a reminder. So it doesn't matter where you live, whether you're living in North America or whether you're living in Europe, and you're following the rules, you're doing the best you can, but we can run, but we cannot hide. We can't hide from evil. You have evil people in high places, and they go out their way to make your life miserable. And so why I mentioned about the Queen of England and the monarchy and the being the head of the Anglican Church. So you have a religious component that's supposed to be guiding how you conduct yourself, but it's not being utilized. And so even when we follow the rules, somehow the rules doesn't apply to black people. Not people of color, but black people specifically. Because see, you don't see that happening to Chinese people. You don't see that happening to people from India or Pakistan. You don't see that happening to various other people of color, Middle Eastern people, Arabs. But who you see it happening to are people from the African diaspora, or people actually born and raised in, black people were born and raised in Africa and are now living in the UK or even if, when they come to the United States of America. It's the same old, same old. Even in some what they call Latin American countries, that the same type of racial profiling. In Latin America, if you're a darker skinned black person, if you're standing in certain areas, you will be racially profiled, and they're going to question why you're standing there. But if it's a Caucasian looking person, they're left alone. So you could be doing the same thing as your white counterpart, but because of what you look like and what is associated with people of your heritage or race, you're going to be mistreated. Jealousies. And so doing this video, my thoughts are this. We need to start tapping into our heritage. Okay? North America, what's symbolic is cotton. Let's say you come from the Caribbean, it's a sugar cane. Take something that's representative of that struggle, and we're going to use it into power, personal power. And what I mean by personal power, see, I believe that if we focus our energy and tap into that power, that struggle that we historically have been through, okay, you decide for yourself. So whether it be cotton or tobacco or banana, coconut, sugar cane, whatever what that was in your personal heritage in the Americas, your ancestors' hardship, you're going to translate that into personal power. And you're going to take that symbol of that heritage and harness that power with a focus of intent, the focus of intent. And you're going to do a personal prayer of power, not into some Jesus, no, your own direct energy line, your own personal energy. See, we have DNA, our genetics, and we're going to tap into that genetics. And I feel led to do this, and I'm encouraged by a YouTuber whose background, the person lives here in the North America, but their background is the Caribbean. And that person is from, I don't want to generalize, but I respect where she's from. She's from Trinidad, and Trinidad could have, the women could, I'm generalizing, but a type of firmness in their character, their personality, I should say, their personality. They have an edge to them. And she had shared something about speaking some things into existence, to verbalize certain things. Some people might call it like an incantation or a curse or whatever what you want to call it. It's making an affirmation. But this affirmation is based on correcting a wrong. Okay, it's about correcting a wrong. It's not about just you don't have anything else to talk about. It's about correcting wrong, to reverse the curse. Blacks in the Americas, blacks living in Europe, all around the world, are being attacked. And they want us to react so that they could find reason to kill us. But we're going to say no. Many of us, we come from Christian backgrounds. And I was raised, I was introduced to Christianity. I was a Christian the mass majority of my adult life, but I no longer follow it. But I was a believer. But now I say, I don't follow it. But again, whatever what builds you up and supports you, you support it. Okay? If it supports you, you support it. So if Christianity supports you, then you support it. But I'm saying today, and again, the Bible does teach certain principles. Principles are universal, regardless where the principle is mentioned. A principle is universal, and a universal quality that is translatable to any situation. So I am reminded in the Bible, in the Exodus, when the ancient Hebrews were being under bondage. What happened to those people, the ancient Hebrews, according to the scriptures in Exodus? You had a character in that chapter called Moses. And wasn't Moses told to say, "Let my people go"? Right? Let my people go. So whether you're Protestant or a Catholic or whatever, it talks about that. Let my people go. And if you don't let us go, and in modern terminology, and again, I'm not a lawyer or anything like that, the term cease and desist. Ceased and desist. And in other terms, that means to back off and to leave me alone. It means to back off and to leave me alone. And so you talk, what's that expression? You speak truth to power. So that person living in Britain, and all you other people of African ancestry, speak truth to power to that head. Whoever who is the head of that snake, you speak truth to power. And currently, the head of Britain is that queen. So you get your candle, what's representative of your hardship. In this case, I live in North America now, so cotton is going to be my symbol. Maybe yours is going to be sugar cane. Whatever what it is, you choose it. Light a candle when it's safe to do so, and say, "Let my people go. Bug off. Hands off of my life. Hands off of my resources. Hands off of my family. I command it. I commanded this instant. If you don't let go and release your wicked hands from my life and my domain, I put curses upon you and your progeny." Or anything. You decide for yourself. It's time to start speaking truth to power. You think the queen doesn't know what's going on? You don't think she has advisors? You start to speak truth to power. And in your quiet time and in meditation, to speak truth to power and put down curses if they don't let you go, and whatever what your demands are. You decide for yourself what your demands are. Each one it's personal. Each one of you is a private individual, and whatever what your needs are in your situation, and in this case of this man, they confiscated his property, his money. They could also seize your home. Anything and everything. And you become homeless overnight. Speak truth to power, they better let go or else. And ask for the ancestors or your higher power, or if you're a Christian, your Christian head, or whatever what it is. You tap into that power, that truth that is the essence of who we are, and the universe, the universal laws. And when you have to start speaking out and say, I appeal to the universal laws that govern, because you have people who are cheating the system and cheating into your livelihood, and violating this man's property and family because of their insecurities, and making them feel weak and ineffective. In fact, that could even be your prayer also. That when those anyone who touches property, that they render them impotent, lacking power, diseased, to back off, or else. We have to start speaking truth to power, truth to the head, who's the head, who's violating your space, your privacy, your domain, your money, your children, because again, they're arresting children, making up excuses to arrest them, to beat them up, to choke them. Hands off. Hands off. So ladies, gentlemen, that's what you start doing. Speaking truth to power, tap into your ancestral energy of truth and liberty, freedom, and justice. It's about justice. If they don't back off and give your, what do you call it, I forget the term, to pay you what you lost, and to pay for damages that, as it's in the scriptures, let their bows be broken and their arrows bent, which means that the weapons that they use against you will fall apart and be reversed and hit them instead. This is not about being evil. It's about justice for yourself and for your family. You do not look for trouble. You mind your business. You do your job. Don't mess with anybody. But those people who damage you, who steal and lie from you, and historically doing that, and they getting rich off of you, and you're being in the poorhouse, it's a time to say enough is enough. Tap into your personal power by your genetics, your ancestors, and the universe. Appeal to them and appeal for revenge. Revenge. That whatever they've taken, that they better give it back. All of it. And some. So, if that keeps happening to you, will happen to this bank manager, or they start arresting people that has done no harm, well, you start tapping into your personal power, appeal to your genetics, your higher power. You say, it's time to fight back and keep what's yours. I thank you again for listening. I thank you because, the time is now. The time is ripe. And I think our higher powers is going to say, you're right. And we're going to assist you. Just like with the ancient Hebrews, when Moses said, let my people go, / cease and desist, and reparations. Reparations now. So take care, people, and enjoy your day, okay? Bye-bye.